Hello, welcome to Breakfast Central on a Thursday, on a rainy Thursday morning in Lagos. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, wonders that the rainy days are here. They will be having consecutive back-to-back rain. So we've been witnessing it for the last few days, but the intensity has reduced a bit. So we're very thankful for it. I mean, if you're going to the car wash at this point, just don't bother. I don't think I'll be washing my car till Saturday or Sunday.
Because it's going to be a whole lot of, you'll be wasting a whole lot of money.
Exactly.
Because as soon as you wash, you get back, the dirt and everything is on the car. But anyway, welcome to Breakfast Central on a Thursday morning. We are happy to be here because we do know that we make your day starter and we also add a lot to your day, especially when it comes to news and current affairs. And we're looking into some of the biggest stories today, as usual. My name is Joe Hansen.
And I'm Gbenga and Joe. First, we start off with one of my favorite segments of Breakfast Show. I don't know, it's because it's light. We stand when we discuss it, and it's the biggest stories from late last night. I remember there's a newspaper called PM News. The tagline is tomorrow's news today. So they're always the last to publish what would be headlines for the other dailies. So that's what we do on Wake Up Conversations. And we have a lot of gist for you, interesting Wake Up Conversations. But where do we start from? I mean, this story is like cat and mouse. You know, the IG of police and Mr. Omoyele Sowore, they're at loggerheads again. It's, you know, this back and forth. He was invited for a meeting at the force headquarters, the police headquarters, and he was detained afterwards. We don't know what's going on, but let's listen to his lawyer and then we'll come back for analysis.
All right, so on the screen there, right before we bring to you the footage, that's the letter of invitation, forgery and criminal defamation. That's what he's been charged for. He's been charged of forgery and criminal defamation. If you look at that, it says that the office is investigating the above-mentioned case reported on the 31st of July 2025, in which your name featured prominently. We'll also take a look at the number 2 aspect. It says, in view of the foregoing and in line with the principle of fair hearing, as enshrined. I like the fact that they used enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You're kindly requested to attend an interview. Take note, Gbenga, it's called an interview with the head of the IGP monitoring unit on Tuesday, 5th August 2025 by 15:30 hours. That's 3:30 p.m. But let's take a look at the reactions quickly.
Invited this morning, and then we came here this morning. Unfortunately, we were met with an unprecedented level of hostility and abuse of rights, and even from the get-go, from the time of arrival at this facility, Mr. Sowore has been treated with the highest form of hostility, notwithstanding that he honored the invitation that was extended to him. We have seen a high level of abuse and repression of dissenting voices in this case. This was not an invitation to investigation or interrogation of any sort. It is an investigation, an invitation to the chambers of oppression, because we're not asked any tangible question. First of all, we demanded for the copies of the petitions or the complaints against Mr. Sowore. They refused to afford us any copy. After many hours, they brought some copies, and even when we asked questions as to the authors of these petitions, they could not give us any clear answer because the petitions emanated from the office of the IGP. So in this case, the IGP is the complainant, the IGP is the investigator. So it is likened to being a judge in their own case. And while we were here, still waiting for substantial questions to be extended to Mr. Sowore, for him to proffer answers, whoever is purportedly investigating this matter, if it is an investigation, surreptitiously went out and claimed to have obtained an order to remand Mr. Sowore We have asked to see a copy of the said order.
Black market order.
But he has refused. With this Fakorede, he has refused to show us a copy of this order.
His old car.
And now he has asked that I be brought to his office, different from this office, before he can show me a copy of the order. And we asked him that as parties and as persons representing Mr. Sowore, as lawyers representing Mr. Sowore is entitled to a copy of the said order directing that he be remanded. We as his counsel were entitled to a copy of the order, but he has said he is not going to give us the order. So he's saying he's going to show us the copy of the order for the purpose of citing, which is the only option we have, and we want to even see if indeed there is an order and where the order is emanating from. So that is where we are going. But for now, they have concluded that they are remanding Mr. Sowore.
Where are they remanding him? Any facility?
No information as to that, but we are sure that they intend to remand him.
So this has sparked a lot of conversation on social media because everyone simply is sharing their own thoughts. The reasons, it's best known to what you've seen right there on the screen, where it was mentioned earlier on that Omoyele Sowore was invited for an interview. As you've seen in the documents that we did show to you on the screen, he was invited for an interview as regards defamation claims. But as soon as he got there, you did hear what the lawyer says. He was actually picked up and then, taken into custody, as it were. And up until now, they still did not find where he's been kept. Has he been released? Answers, not yet.
I mean, the laws of Nigeria say you can't hold a suspect for more than 48 hours. So we're expecting him to be charged. And from what we deduce so far, it's bordering on a petition that was written from the IG's office on forgery and defamation. So it'll be nice to see how that goes. But Mr. Sowore, once again, is in the news as ruffling feathers. But he has a team in support and his team of lawyers, so we'll see how that plays out. But I mean, it's becoming one too many. But let's see if the case against him is of merit. The courts will decide, as they say.
Absolutely, the court will decide. But then again, don't forget that Omoyele Sowore himself has been pushing for the resignation of the IGP. He says that he's past the age bracket, and it's time for him to actually resign. That he's not supposed to be there. Yeah. He ought to have resigned because he's past that age bracket. So he has gone ahead to say it in many spaces, even when he was here live, stating that he's not his own IGP, that he doesn't understand where he's from.
The argument is that the National Assembly passed a law saying that your tenure begins, that IGP is entitled to a 4-year tenure once your appointment has been made. And I guess that's the legal basis at which the current IG is keeping his job. But let's see how things go. And in the same light, it was this same Mr. Sowore that was protesting for retired policemen a few
weeks ago.
Yeah,
just a few weeks
saying
ago.
Their pensions, nothing to write home about. He even proposed a 500,000 naira minimum wage, and they say police is your friend, but look at what his friends are doing to him. Police is your friend, maybe IG is not your friend.
Well, that's it, because they said this is coming from the office of the IG, but we'll also wait to hear from the IG himself. Hopefully he would clarify things to make clear that it wasn't just an interview, it was a case of ensuring that they get more from Omoyele Sowore. However, aside that, just a few days ago, Omoyele Sowore also went online through his media platform, which is Sahara Reporters, to put out a story alleging that the IGP was about to promote certain individuals, therefore proving that he wasn't just going to promote not every single person, but it bordered on nepotism and choosing a select few who should get promotion. This was equally debunked by the IGP. In our news stories, in our news stories, it did come out while he was indeed honoring some of the policemen who had been promoted by rank. He also said clearly that he wants to make it known to the public that they should avoid talking anyhow, going on social media and saying things that are not certain. In other words, misinforming the public. Obviously, this was done 48 hours, and just yesterday, Sowore. So we can connect the dots, right?
The witch cried.
Yeah, and then the
child
baby
died.
Yeah, the baby,
Yeah,
the baby
so-
died. So if you connect the dots, you get to see what's really happening there. But as journalists, we're just looking at
We're
it
not
from
going to
this
preempt.
aspect
Let's-
as well. But let's just
we'll
wait.
see
Let's
the
see what will happen.
position is.
Yeah, but one of Omoyele Sowore's followers who was there as well live equally took to the streets too. He was there, and they started a mild protest. Let's take a listen to what he said.
Detained and charged for treason.
Yes.
Nigerians were shot and killed in cold blood.
Yes.
We have not forgotten all this about Egbetoku. The same Egbetoku today is feeling slighted because Sowore has been exposing the rot and all the shenanigans within the Nigerian police force. Favoritism, tribalism, corruption, and all the political interference that they've been having in the police force. Now Egbetoku wants to score a cheap point, an egocentric battle to settle a personal vendetta. Sowore is more than a human being. The person you have in there with you is Omoyele Sowore, the man.
Yes.
The people you have out here are voices that speak what Sowore is speaking. So Sowore you are keeping there is just one amongst many of us.
Yes.
And while we are few here today, we should let Egbetoku and Tinubu, who kept him there, to know that this might just be the beginning of that revolution we have been calling for. Because Nigerians will take to the streets, Nigerians will mobilize. If you want to arrest us, expand your jail centers, because we are going to be arrested in our quantum.
Yes.
We will not give up. As you arrest us, more will take up the streets. There will be no peace for the wicked in this country. If Nigerian leaders and their oppressors, like Egbetoku and co, can keep us in this kind of, mess. People don't have food to eat. People are dying of insecurity. People are roaming around with hopelessness and depression. If they can subject us to such inhumanity in a country of so much abundance, then we will not allow them rest. When injustice becomes law, resistance becomes duty. If they say we don't go sleep,
Well, that pretty much does it for Omoyele Sowore and his arrests, if you put it that way. Yesterday, despite the fact that he was invited for an interview, and that's the reaction that you get, especially from his followers. Besides that, while he was going for that interview, he made that announcement on X, telling all his supporters to come out and ensure that.
Probably sensed it.
So I think he sensed
Something
that
was going to happen.
something was going to happen, and it was much more like a reminiscent of what did happen to him in the early 2000s, where the DSS did come to his house and then pick him up as well. So if you put these videos together, you see that he's one who has gone through so many.
Yeah,
Remember when he was
he's
shot
had
in the
his-
buttocks as well?
Yeah, he's had his run-ins with
So
the
I
authorities.
mean, he's been pushing, and he
And
continues to say
talking about
he can do more.
run-ins with authorities, I mean, this scenes from social media. This next story we're about to tell you was quite dramatic and quite shocking because it was multiple breach of security and protocol. And it's elicited so much debate on social media as to who's to blame, who dropped the ball, whose responsibility is this, and what have you. So, Joe, would you like to give us the gist?
I mean, yeah, it's a video that shows a popular, respected, and you could say a legendary musician, better known as K1 the Ultimate or Kwam 1. You just saw a footage of a plane taxiing, and that man walking wearing brown, that's K1. And take a look, he had to dodge by bending
So
down
very close.
to avoid the plane or the wing of the plane from, engaging in some form of gory. I don't even want to
I
define
mean,
it.
I'm glad it didn't hit him because
Yeah,
the story would have.
Gbenga, that wouldn't
would
hit.
have
That
been
would
something
be a
else.
complete.
But how
chop-off.
did we get? To
But how
this
did we get
situation
here?
in the
Now
first
that's the story. So the best way to explain this story is to look at the press releases. First of all, we do have a press release from FAAN, the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria. This is what they said. Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria addresses incident at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. The Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria wishes to formally addressed the incident that occurred on Tuesday, 5th August 2025, at the domestic terminal of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. The incident involved a notable Nigerian musician, King Wasiu Ayinde Marshal, also known as K1D Ultimate, and a pilot of ValueJet Airlines. Preliminary investigations confirmed that the passenger, which happens to be K1D Ultimate, was scheduled to board the morning flight to Lagos operated by ValueJet Airlines. During boarding, the passenger attempted to carry unidentified liquid substance on board, despite repeated warnings from aviation security personnel and the flight captain. In accordance with international aviation security standards, specifically Nigeria's National Civil Aviation Security Program, NCASP, and ICAO Annex 17, liquids exceeding 100 milliliter are not permitted through security screening unless medically necessary and properly declared. The passenger was informed of this regulation, but reportedly declined to comply. As boarding continued, an airline security officer asked the passenger to step aside for further clarification. The passenger allegedly refused and spilled the contents of the flask on the officer, which turned out to be alcohol. The flight captain intervened but faced similar resistance. After confirming that boarding was complete, she instructed the closure of the aircraft door. At this juncture, the passenger moved to the front of the aircraft and refused to leave the area despite repeated requests. He was ultimately escorted away by AVSEC, of course, as the Aviation Security Crime Unit, for further investigation, after which he was released. FAAN reiterates its unwavering commitment to the safety and security of all passengers, crew, and airport personnel. The authority will not tolerate any actions that compromise operational integrity or undermine aviation safety standards, regardless of the individuals involved. This matter remains under thorough investigation, and all parties found culpable will be held accountable according to the law. FAAN is dedicated to upholding the highest standards, and so on and so forth. Signed, Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, Mrs. Obiageli Ora. So, this is the FAAN story.
This first.
So, FAAN happens to be the body.
The regulatory body.
That, of course, the regulatory body that oversees in entirety what will happen or may have happened on ground within every single airport facility. And for them to have put out a press release, they have either spoken to the flight carrier and then also got a report
Done their investigation.
so they've done their investigation. Quickly, they put out that report. But while this FAAN press release is out, K1 The Ultimate has also put out his own press release.
Okay, it's a battle of press releases.
ValueJet has equally put out its own press release.
But let's
look at them before we analyze carefully.
Because we might have a lot to analyze. So I think I want to start with the FAAN.
You know, it's risky to start. It's Gbenga,
get the complete picture.
Let's follow the journalist line. Let's get the complete. We've gotten the top picture. Now the next one. ValueJet addresses recent incidents. So, ValueJet is aware of the incident that occurred on Tuesday at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport to get introductions and so on. Now, we acknowledge the seriousness of this incident and are fully cooperating with the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority in their ongoing investigation. The crew involved were removed immediately from active duty, pending the outcome of a thorough internal review and investigation that has commenced to understand the root cause and prevent any recurrence. At ValueJet, safety is not negotiable. We operate under strict adherence to regulatory procedures and international safety standards, and we remain committed to accountability and improvement across all levels of all operations. So, we appreciate the NCAA's swift response, and we'll continue to work closely with the authority to uphold the integrity of Nigerian aviation. So, this is just basically saying, what we saw from the NCAA actually corroborates with whatever they have said here. In other words, meaning that they have divulged, they've told them their own side of the story
and they're doing it
them internally.
Yeah.
Bam, case closed. Now.
So do we have the Quam 1?
Quam 1's, I don't know if we have that for the screen, but I do have that on my phone. I did receive that as well this morning while we were actually looking at the entire story. So if, I'm going to look at it carefully. So please, just give me like 1 second. Yes, I found it. So receiving it this morning, let me quickly go through it. This is what it says. This is taken from Kunle Rashid, the media aide to K1 The Ultimate, and he says this. He says, that our attention has been drawn to reports alleging that King Wasiu Ayinde Marshal, K1 The Ultimate, displayed unruly conduct while attempting to board a value jet flight, causing a breach of aviation protocol. He says, we wish to categorically state that this narrative is not only exaggerated, but also misleading. At no point did K1 act in a manner that endangered lives or breached safety regulations. The substance in question, which was wrongly sensationalized, was nothing more than plain drinking water.
Does drinking water smell like alcohol?
I'm coming.
Yeah.
Gbenga, relax. Given to him at the airport lounge while he waited to board the aircraft. Despite his respectful efforts to clarify this, the situation was unnecessarily escalated. Claims that K1 blocked the aircraft or attempted to disrupt operations are completely unfounded. The veteran artist, who is globally respected and frequently travels both locally and internationally, understands and strictly adheres to aviation protocols. If indeed there had been anything inappropriate in his conduct, the head of airport security officials from relevant agencies such as FAAN and NCAA, as well as the chairman and managing director of the airline, would not have reached out personally to appeal, tender apologies, and even go as far as arranging a private jet to fly him to Lagos at no cost. Despite persistent persuasion from the airline's top executives, K1 graciously declined the offer. It must also be emphasized that K1 was a victim in this incident. No one else but him and his personal assistant was directly involved. A few concerned passengers who witnessed the incident firsthand appealed to him to remain calm, recognizing the undue pressure he was under. In light of recent developments, it is important to note that the pilot involved now has a license suspended. Given the circumstances, it is no surprise if she attempts to deflect blame. Surely she must lie to cover herself up.
There's a lot. It's a lot to digest.
There's a lot. So we started from FAAN, we went straight to Value Jet, and now we went straight to K1. So we've gotten everybody's story, and we've put the cards on the table.
So two of the stories, I mean, FAAN and Value Jet, mostly on the same page. But the FAAN's presser is incomplete because it didn't talk about the part where the plane was taxiing and it almost caused injury to Mr. K1, and it also didn't mention the substance, the liquid substance, what it turned out to. Okay, it did. But look, I mean, I think what happened was unnecessary. It could have been resolved amicably, and I think it's a battle of egos, you know, big manism, and multiple breach of processes. Because you shouldn't even have been portside. You shouldn't be by the airplane if you have that liquid, because you go through multiple checks. So if somebody had done their job properly, he wouldn't have even carried it past the first screening where they ask you for your boarding pass.
Exactly.
It's past 100 ml. But I guess looking at his status, they were probably shocked or had celeb fever.
Yeah.
That's why I could move on. And I mean, following the aviation protocol, the pilot did have every right not to onboard the passenger, regardless of who he is. I mean, the rules are rules. They're no respecter of persons. You have to follow rules. But the part where, that has raised lots of eyebrows is when she was taxiing. And the aviation security too should have cleared that area, because it was a narrow miss.
It was a narrow miss. It would have been gory, and it would have been very, very bad to see, a sight that you wouldn't want to see. But before that, I want us to play that video, and let's listen to the audio. That audio will give us a little bit of background to see what could have been. Okay, so if you listen, the person said, "Wait now, wait now. Shey you is it? Why you know wait? Why you know? Shey you strong? Wait now." In the Nigerian context, before one will make that statement, it means that the person involved has shown some form of either restraint, some act of brutish, or you just want to
Big man
prove
is
that
it?
listen,
Yeah.
I'm in charge. This is what I'm
How
going to
dare
do
you?
this.
This plane is
How
not
dare you?
going
Do you know who I
anywhere.
am?
Well,
And then
how dare you kick me out?
And so on and so
So
forth.
that press release by
the media
the
aid.
media aid is very
And the
I mean,
media aid.
there's so many dots
Yes, and
that
his
need to
media
be
aid said
connected.
that in no way was he trying to stop the flight. But the question again, I would like to ask the media aid, what was he doing there?
Exactly.
If he was
You're
not in no way trying to stop
And if
it.
they told you that you can't board, I mean, why are you
Exactly.
still...
So what was he doing there?
And then the part that Valley just said is spilled.
the drink on the...
and that's when they knew it was alcohol. He failed to address that part.
Exactly. No, he said it wasn't alcohol, that they're going to
it's water.
sensationalize the thing that it was water. So another question again is, how does water 100 ml? You know,
Said
and
it was
again,
given to him in the lounge.
okay, hold on. You're taking the water from the lounge. The airport, the plane also has water.
Exactly. You
So,
can leave
so
it.
if they
and
tell
then
you,
they'll
oh,
give
sorry, you
water.
can't take this in,
Yes.
but when you come in, what's
Since
that?
it's water.
Oh, it's water. Don't worry, we have water for you.
Exactly.
Oh, please come in, sir. We have water for you. So you see, there are so many loopholes in this story, and the loopholes is not in any way favoring the K1 team, or is not in any way looking like it's favoring them.
And what is sad, I know if this were an ordinary Nigerian citizen, I mean, there are multiple breaches, but that person will probably sleep in detention yesterday for breaching airport security and for being a nuisance.
That's it.
But I guess...
And another thing I want to
he
say,
uses star
Gbenga,
power.
let me also bring a little knowledge. My knowledge may not be full when it comes to aviation and all that, but I do know, and I know that every Nigerian knows, including yourself, if you're well traveled, a plane does not taxi, does not move without having warmed its engine.
Oh, yes.
You take note, right? So the plane,
And then
the
the
pilot must have
time-
put it on. It takes a certain minutes. So the plane was possibly revving, getting ready. The engines were heating
And then
up,
they were moving
and
the
so
bag
on.
to the cargo bay,
Exactly.
and passengers were
Exactly.
embarking.
So
on-
during that time, even when it starts, take note before it even starts. Let's follow through the process. Once everyone has entered the plane, you sat down. What happens to the door? Shut. So the door must have been shut. The pilots, they told everybody, they lock, the cabin crew, and everybody walks around, and then the plane, starts. The engine is getting hot, it's revving. And the next thing is, they tell you the protocol, right?
Yeah,
Everybody,
fasten
ensure you
seatbelts,
fasten your
prepare for
seatbelt.
takeoff.
So all those things were going on. Where was K1? Was he
The
down
ground
there?
aviation
He was
security,
down there.
why didn't they move him away from...
With what we see in the
from the
video, with
side
what
of
we
the
heard, that's why I said we could take the
airplane.
voice note of the guy who said, Shebi you. So maybe they tried, but
I mean,
was
it's
still
not,
there.
it's not a matter of they tried. They should have removed him. So the person that was at the check-in counter, checking the
Exactly.
boarding pass, failed at not...
Given celebrity status.
failed
Instead
at
of
not
following security
seizing that
protocol.
liquid content. The second part was aviation security shouldn't have allowed this matter to escalate
I agree
to
with you.
the level
I agree
where
with you.
the plane would almost
Yeah.
hit him. So, and then the pilot, I mean, she shouldn't have done that.
Gbenga, in as much as we need to move, I also want to say this. I want to play devil's advocate here. I mean, everybody has the right to their opinion. But I want to say this. Could it be that the pilot didn't see what was going on? Remember, it's on the right wing. It could be that she didn't see what was going on down there. Because in her mind, while the engine, they've taken him out
Oh,
of the
yes.
plane.
You
And
don't
while the
expect
engine was going on, you
people
don't
to
expect
be
people to be
lurking
there.
around.
You expect that everybody there has left.
Yeah.
So she's just doing what she has
You're
to do.
right.
Get it
I mean,
ready,
this is-
and
it's
after
a
some
very
time,
logical-
she moves on.
It's a very logical point.
Because, I mean, look at her. She's preparing. She's getting ready. He's walking away.
I mean, there's no, the planes don't have side mirrors, so how are you supposed to...
That's another thing. So I expect a thorough investigation to be done in this, where every single angles of this entire story
And every
will be
breach
looked
should be-
into
should be addressed.
carefully. And then, if possible, if anyone is found culpable, I think it's also good to put them out there and let's talk about it. But then again, let's announce very quickly that if you're boarding a flight and the pilot tells you no, bear in mind, just like we do in broadcasting, for those who don't understand, in broadcasting, we in the studio have the power or the producers, remember that they say, you have the power to even tell the boss to say, please leave the studio. Yes, that's the rule, because right there, you're the pilot and you need to focus to do your job.
Exactly.
So if the pilot says, oh no, take that passenger out. We've seen that done in America. Many people say, oh, that passenger can't be in the plane, take him out. The security aides come in. It doesn't matter who you are. They will bundle you, take you out. You can solve your issues later. If that's what really happened, we'll find out in the course of every conversation.
Yeah, celebrities and famous people should act better. I mean, there are rules.